Hello everybody, welcome back to Body Tuning Live. Okay, today we're doing a Back to Basics class. I wrote a nice description below talking about why it's important to do the same easy, good stuff over and over again. So we're going to focus on the basics of human movement today, and we're just going to roll through some easy stuff. Okay, let's start warming up the ankles. We're going to take a joint by joint approach today. I really believe that learning to control each joint in your body helps you move a lot more efficiently. And so as we practice each joint, we'll get more control over the body. Okay, now we're just rolling circles through the feet, coming up to the toes, rolling to the outside, going down, okay? Good, we're going to switch the direction, coming from the outside in. And just try to feel as much of a circle as you can through the ankle. Good, some light bouncing through the ankle. This time, very easily, keep the mind inside of the ankle. I'm not thinking about shaking up the organs. I'm really thinking about trying to feel the stretch down the back of my leg. And just warming up the ankles carefully. Starting to get into the knees here. Rolling from side to side now. Notice how the feet roll from one edge of the foot to the other. The big toe comes all the way up. The pinky toe comes all the way up. Rolling through the foot. You can also notice how rolling through the feet causes, obviously, the whole body to turn. Right? This is why having one foot that's a little bit flatter than the other will cause rotation through that leg. Right? So building nice, flexible, strong feet, obviously the foundation to standing upright nicely. Okay, so let's keep working on this flexibility, just rolling through the feet side to side. And let's start to add some circles in the knees here. Again, everything easy, no stress yet, just warming up the joints. Good, change directions. Good, let's make some circles for the ankle in the air, 5 to 6 one way and the other way. Starting to talk to the hip here. Already addressing the balance and stability in each leg. And lightly kicking out the knees, very gentle. Just checking to see if we have some sensitivity here. If you were with me yesterday, you saw I really went for it on the shakeout. And I definitely feel more centered today, which is great. But I will say my body's a little bit tired. So I'm just going to take it nice and easy today and try to recover. Easy kicking, easy kicking. Right, now focusing to pull. This pulling movement is going to be what I consider to be the absolute fundamental movement in human ambulation. Pulling the foot, going through the toes, and pulling the heel up underneath the pelvis. This movement, like a piston upwards, is the most fundamental and basic movement that we need to master. It's used both for running and walking, just at a different amount. When we've got this nice flow going, it's easy to travel forward, just picking the feet up underneath the body. And it trains us to not overstep forwards or try to push off the ground when we run. We don't want to live in a pushing world. We want to lift off the ground and pull. So the more we train this easy pulling mechanic, the easier it's going to be for us to walk and run effortlessly. Okay, so again, we're just pedaling through the ankles and then up. Okay, and you want to feel like the heel rides up the inseam of the other leg. And I'm drawing it up the leg. They're not really touching, but from the side it looks like that. Right? Also notice that in order to get the foot to come straight up, you need to allow the knee to drive forwards in front of the body. In fact, the hip stays back while the knee travels forward. Right? So moving the knees forward is a much easier way to think about moving yourself forward. Don't try to push your whole body forwards. Just move the knees forward in space, and the body will fall forwards as we walk. And let's keep practicing this pulling movement. Getting some nice activation in the hamstrings and a little bit to the hips. Good. Adding a little bit of trunk rotation. I'm just going to start to warm up the arms. Again, don't lose track of the basic ankle movement here. As I go to pick up, I roll through the toes and then lift the foot. On each one of these repetitions, I can clearly feel the ankle doing its full expression of the movement. Let's take attention to the chest in this pattern. Let's make the legs a little bit easier. We're going to do the basic walking pattern. We're pedaling just through the ankles, letting the knee travel forwards and back, okay? We don't have to lift now. Just pedaling here, okay? And let's start to address how the upper body is used when we walk, okay? We need to create a slight counter rotation towards the knee that's bending in order to keep our balance and center of gravity more even and down the middle of the body, okay? If we don't use rotation, a little bit of counter rotation from the shoulders, we end up getting something more like this when we walk. Okay? If we just add the rotation instead of flexing, we'll distribute the weight nicely down the center of the body, okay? So as we continue to pedal through the ankles, letting the knees travel forwards, I'm just going to add a nice, easy rotation in the chest. Again, it's very important that you turn towards the knee that's bending. If you catch yourself moving like this is a great indicator that you have a lot of stiffness in the trunk and that you're unable to separate the hips and the rib cage, okay? Also, there's no way that we walk like this. You don't see anybody do that. But if you find it hard to get this reciprocal coordination, you can guarantee yourself that your nervous system is trying to make you walk like this, and you're having to overcome this all the time without realizing it. Okay, so it's really important we get this nice reciprocal movement, feeling the X in the body, right? As one arm pulls back, the other knee, that same side knee goes forward. And we get this easy kind of S-like shape, right? This is the pose we want. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we can see it, the same thing on the other side. Okay, so you're just switching from pose to pose. You're just hitting the pose on both sides. Very easy. Good. Let's shake out the body lightly now. Notice how as I add the rotation back into this movement, I look less teeter-totter. If I don't rotate, I'm forced to swing from side to side, right? When I rotate, easy for me to stay in one place. Good. Arm swing is another huge element to walking nicely. And in order to counteract the balance, you either need a lot of rotation in the chest or a little bit and a little bit of arm swing. If we don't have any rotation in the chest, we would need a lot of arm swing to help balance ourselves. So we want to spread that difference across both the arm and the chest so that we get a little bit of rotating in the chest and a little bit of swinging in the arms. Again, we keep that basic movement in the ankle, pedaling through the toes, letting the knee drive forwards. Good, at this point, we've established the full walking pattern, okay? This is exactly how I move when I walk. I don't do anything differently. What happens in order to actually travel forwards is just a slight forward leaning, as I let gravity drop me forward as if I were balancing a broom on my hand, right? Let's see, I have this guy here. If you're balancing here and you want to travel, you just lean, and then you move forward like that, okay? But that leaning only makes sense in our body when we're staying very vertical, right? So I don't have to push off the ground to get forward. Just pick the feet up, get the light swing, and lean. Leaning backwards, forwards. Okay, try to feel this movement as you shift, taking a few steps forwards and backwards. You can kind of see that my head actually leads the movement. Get a feel for what it's like to take that initial falling step. If we stand still and simply fall, the body will not let you face plant. So it will naturally take the right step. Boom. Easy. Okay? So that's the sensation we want to develop when we're walking. So if you're walking and you feel like you want to improve how easily you're walking, you can simply ask yourself, am I using some amount of gravity to help me fall forwards? Or am I trying to push myself along? Right? Are the hips leading when I walk? Or is the head leading? Okay? Good, so you've got a nice basic walking pattern. Now, if you're still interested in running, we're just going to take the same pattern and you just make 2 easy adjustments. You bend the elbows 90 degrees, and you start to pull the feet up to the knee level. Okay? This is essentially running in place with good form. Okay? And then if you wanted to actually run, you need to get the hop, so you need a faster cadence. Okay? But again, pulling up underneath the hips. It looks like I'm running in place, because that's exactly how I run when I'm traveling. I just add a little bit of lean. Right? And that falling movement is what takes you forward. Okay? Let's get into the hips now, okay? Controlling the rotation of the hips is a really great way to actually open the hip. Okay? People say, I want to know about hip openers. Well, this is the most basic hip opener. You're just opening 90 degrees and replacing to the center. Okay? What you want to avoid is twisting the whole body to the left. Try to keep the body facing forward and turn only one leg out to the side in an isolated movement. And we'll just develop this easy dance, stepping in and out. Good. Let's get a little bit of exercise with the abdomen and the circulation here as we start to warm up the arms, okay? I'm just tapping easy on the abdomen. Notice the reflexive tightening of the stomach, not in a tense way, but in a firming way to protect against the incoming impact of the hands. All the time working on that basic movement of the ankles. you're wondering why I'm always hitting myself, it has so many profound effects inside of the body. A deep level of impact from the vibration going in helps to stimulate the organs and digestion, but it also causes the muscular system to tone up in defense of the hip. Especially in the lower abdomen area, we want to get this area to come back in and up and sit inside of the pelvic bowl. This actually is extremely important for adjusting the position of the pelvis. We don't want the belly to hang forwards and pull the organs out of their natural position. This makes a lot of stress on the lower back. So one of the ways I like to work on this is squeezing the butt and hitting my stomach. And this just pretty much automatically brings everything back in over time. Right? If you want more stimulus, you just hit harder. The other element of getting the basic abdominal position back in place is to use a full exhale. As we exhale, the diaphragm goes up and sucks the organs back into the body. So we want to push the air out as we drive the lower abs back in. Good, let's shake out the arms and get to the basics for the arms, right? What do we do mostly with arms? We reach for things. Like that's like the main thing we do. We reach for the keyboard, we reach for the doors, kind of reach around ourselves, and we put clothes on and stuff. So it's a lot of reaching. So we need to figure out how do we practice reaching in the easiest way, the least stress for the body, okay? But this, we want to use the image that we're holding a giant ball or something like this. This isn't just imagery this time around. What we're talking about is getting the right angle for the shoulder blade. So the shoulder blades don't work in 90 degrees. They're not in a two-dimensional plane. They actually kind of slide on our back up and around and forwards. So when we lift our arms, let's say out at like 45-degree angles, this is actually the most economic movement for the shoulders, which is why you see a lot of martial arts and Tai Chi area. You see a lot of shoulder positions like this, because this trains the scapula and arm to move in the most natural, efficient position. Right, lifting the arm up straight here actually takes much more effort. If you look out diagonally, you'll see it's a lot easier to bring the arm up. So we just want to kind of hang out here and get used to being in this zone, right? Kind of like 45-degree away from the body. And we can just kind of train the arms to be loose while the shoulder blades do the heavy lifting to stabilize our bones. Right, here we have stable shoulders as the weight of the arm helps sink the shoulder blade in. And now we can develop loose arms on top of a stable shoulder girdle, just by using the basic position of the shoulder. When the shoulders get tired, let's take a quick massage up and down here. Especially attention to the front of the shoulder. Since a lot of the keyboarding and reaching and phone holding is going to rack up tension in the anterior deltoid and bicep, usually this front area of the shoulder is what gets tight for us and ends up drawing the shoulder forwards. Okay? So any massage we can get in, even just basic massage to the front of the shoulder, it's all going to add up for us. Okay? We can use our hitting here in a second, but let's get some quick massage to the front of the shoulder. Good, and now let's start to develop the rotation while we hit the front of the shoulders. We can also incorporate the same lower body basics. Okay. Almost every one of my movements we can incorporate the basics. Another element that I consider to be a basic level of control for the body is release. If you simply cannot release the body, it becomes very difficult to move effortlessly or with any sense of good coordination. This skill can be learned easily if we take the basic shoulder position and drop the arms. Notice how long the rebound effect is from my arm. It drops and hangs freely as it finds its natural resting place. There's no attempt to control the arm on the way down. There's no attempt to stop the hip and hang here. No, full release. I'm done with the arms. I'll let them find their own way. Okay, let's practice this a few times and get the sensation of how gravity helps us release the body. Here's a lot of effort to lift the shoulders. Just let go and let gravity do the work. Boom. Feel the long reverberation as the body settles into place. If you pay close attention, you can even feel the weight in your feet shift as you handle the reverberation. The same can be achieved for the leg, and we can incorporate this into the basic pull. From here, we want to drop the leg back where it came from. Easy release, not pushing the foot down towards the ground. Remember, we want to stay in a pulling environment muscularly and a releasing environment in the downward direction. There's never a reason when we're walking or running to push the foot down towards the ground. You can simply relax and it will fall into place. And this is really what we want for the effortless walking. After you've made the effort to lift the foot, go through the basics, you drop. You just let the leg fall. Slowly controlling falling. Little bit of fall. Let the leg drop. We want passive landings. We don't want to have to control how the foot lands. Let the reflexes in the body handle that. We need to focus on what we're doing in the air when we have no reference. We need to control the foot in the air and then release with gravity, dropping both the arms and the leg. Feel the lift of effort and the release through gravity. Good. If you're feeling the release easily like that, you can achieve that even if you don't have gravity to fall from, right? We can still just release the shoulders as we sit here. And if we resend that signal to release, 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 it will continue to relax the area, okay? Let's pay attention to the biceps now. This is really important after spending a lot of time either texting or in a bent arm position typing. If we don't get the elbow and bicep straight and relaxed again, this will always create this shortening here that pulls the shoulder forwards. So a lot of times people will say, I have tight chest because my shoulders are hunched forward, but it can easily be the bicep giving you the same problem. So let's use gravity and our basic approach here to bend the bicep and drop the elbow down. And here we're going to kind of flick the arm backwards behind us to get the stretch in the bicep. You can control what part of the arm you're stretching depending on where your palm is facing. If you flick the arm backwards with the palm up, you'll probably feel something more down the outside of the arm, perhaps into the thumb and pointer finger. If you turn the palm face down as you flick backwards, you may feel something more along the outside of the arm, okay? Well, let's just get a few repetitions here, and we'll start to pick up the pace for the session today, okay? We've gotten all the fundamentals talked about, so let's get a lot of movement in now, okay? Here we go. Dropping with gravity, stretching the biceps open. Good, incorporating the basics again. playing with the different palm positions, just dropping the arms, feeling how gravity is actually our friend. We grew up under it and we're designed to use it, but if you fight with it, you're totally screwed. It's just going to dominate you. And so we need to make good friends with gravity so that we become very comfortable. Nice loose movements. Again, notice the basics in the legs, the knees pedaling forwards, arms dropping from gravity. Slight rotation in the chest. Good. Let's take our nice released arms and we'll do the rotation and just focus on how released the arms can remain. I'm really not using my arms in a lifting fashion here. They're simply rising up because of centripetal force. Right? The effort is in my core to rotate my chest. The arms are doing absolutely less than nothing right now. I don't care where they land or how they swing. I'm only focused on releasing the shoulders, releasing the area by the shoulder blades and by the spine between the shoulder blades. Feel the twist start to travel easily through the spine. Arms hanging effortlessly. Good. Let's explore how bending forwards we can use gravity to help us. Releasing the arms hanging here. We get a free stretch from gravity. Right? The arms totally hanging loose out of the sockets. Easy shimmies up and down. Feel the weight of the arms hanging from gravity. Good. Developing an easy basic pattern in the legs. We get some variety of arm swing movement. Again, look for the economy by swinging the arms as long and loose as possible. Remember to rotate towards the knee that's bending. Ooh, nice. Good relaxation in the spots. All right, let's shake out the legs a little bit. If you've been really keeping up with the ankle basics, you're probably getting a decent workout for the lower legs here. Again, notice how I use gravity here to help the leg shoot out in just the laziest, uncontrolled fashion possible. The leg swings in on its own. As it goes out, gravity brings it back underneath me. The only effort I make is lift and whew. Once it's on its way down, it's out of our control. Let gravity sort it out. You'll see that the foot always comes back home. It doesn't just hang out there and make you land straight. It's always going to come back underneath you. It's really important to feel that comfort that the foot, you can trust the foot to fall through the air because it's going to be underneath you when it lands. Usually the problem with running or walking improperly is over controlling the foot placement, not letting the foot land passively with a relaxed ankle, and instead worrying we need to walk with the heel toe and the heel toe. This is absurd to try to micromanage that as you walk. Unless you're going to Olympic power walking, this is crazy. So if you want exercise for walking, fine. But if you want to just walk easily, you need to not control where the foot goes. Just let it land in front of you and focus on the basics. Ankle movement, lifting. Ankle movement, lifting. Let the feet fall. As you get good, they won't really thump on the ground, just like when we swing the legs like this. They don't really smack into the ground. It's not the same as stomping when you walk. Good. Shimmying the spine. Let's round out a few more times. Again, looking for that first restriction, just finding the tight spots for you that day. Good. And looking up a little bit, opening the chest, opening the shoulders. Good. Okay, folks, we're going to bring it to a conclusion here. Okay, mostly I want to express to you that you don't need to keep pushing for more and more out of the body. You need to do the same easy circulation effects like we've been doing and avoid injury because we have a long life to live and we just want to stay healthy. We don't need to become elite athletes. We just want to stay healthy, so we need decent, repeatable stuff. So we don't have to keep looking for the new next thing. So we use natural movements, learn how to work with gravity so that we move with more efficiency. And we practice the most economical movements over and over again until they become habits for us. Okay, have a great day and practice some of the basics, okay? Don't get too excited. I'll see you all tomorrow with something perhaps a little bit more juicy. Okay, bye-bye.